Once again, hello everyone. This is Earth Science teacher Tim Martin, and in Meteorology Part 22, we'll take a look at world climate zones. There are many climate zones throughout the world, and we want to look at them very specifically. Going back to the NASA blue marble image, which is actually made up of thousands of individual images stitched together, we can see how the German-Russian meteorologist and climatologist Vladimir Koppen came up with the current system of climate classification. He said that the A climates would be located near the equator, followed by the B climates, the C climates, D climates, and then at the poles we'd find the E climates. We'll take a look at each of these zones and the climate systems within each. Starting off with the A climates, the tropical climates, the ones found closest to the equator. Of course, the dominant climate near this zone is the tropical rainforest. It's hot, humid, with large amounts of precipitation. In fact, many places, tropical rainforests may have over 4 meters of rain a year. Why so much rain? This is located near the doldrums, where there's so much rising air that causes the precipitation. You'll see plants growing on top of plants. I'll never forget one 2-week period when I worked in the tropical rainforest in Costa Rica when it rained all day, every day. There was only a period of about 30 minutes one afternoon when it did not rain during the daytime. Of course, there's many different kinds of plants, lots of animals, with very high biodiversity throughout this climate zone. Another tropical climate is the savanna and monsoon climates. These may be characterized by grasslands or open forests. Here we see grassland with both a wet season where it's green and dry season where it's brown. These are often located in the trade winds. The shifting wind patterns across the seasons cause a distinct wet and dry season. Many of us may be familiar with the tropical savanna climate from a well-known movie. Yeah, you guessed it, The Lion King. Take a look beyond the plot of the movie at the background. Notice the animals have their young when everything is green. Then, as the year goes on, there's a drought, there's fire. Then, once again, after the rain, we see the completion of the circle of life. The B climates are typically the arid climates. These are located around the horse latitudes. Deserts, where it's hot and dry, may have very little or almost no vegetation, such as we see here in Badwater of Death Valley. There are a lot of dry land areas throughout the American Southwest, down in the Grand Canyon or other places around the Mojave Desert. This is Racetrack Playa, where for many years there was a mystery of how the rocks slid across this seemingly dry lake bed. Another arid climate is the steppe climate, very similar to the tropical savanna. The steppe has cool or cold winters, but again is dominated by large grasslands. We find the steppe in the United States, in the Great Plains. This area used to be dominated by large grazing animals. We still can find areas where some of these large grazers still exist. We used to have large elephant-like animals, but the ones in North America had hair. We also had large predatory cats. The ones we had long, dagger-like teeth. Again, the grasslands tend to be very productive for large animals. On to the sea climates, slightly higher latitudes. One of the common sea climates is the Mediterranean climate, located in California. We note that this is very similar to the climate around much of the Mediterranean. It has a dry summer and relatively wet winter. This is a prime area for agriculture, particularly fruit and vegetables. Here we see a large vineyard in central California. The CFA climate, or the humid subtropical climate, is one that is very familiar to those of us who lived in the southeastern United States. It's also a very important agricultural region. This climate has distinct seasons, with a spring, summer, winter, and fall. This is the climate we'd see in the southeastern United States and the lower Mississippi Valley. The CFB, or Marine West Coast climate, is a cool and wet climate It's found on the coast of Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. This technically is a rainforest, and we see very, very large trees in this climate zone. Here we see a large Sitka spruce in the Hoh rainforest on the Washington coast. The D climates, you'll notice, are only found in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, this area is dominated by the Southern Ocean, so the higher latitude forests are only found in the northern hemisphere. The humid continental climate, DFA or DFB, is the climate that is found in the northeastern and midwestern states of the United States. It has distinct seasons, with a very cold winter. It's also important agriculturally. This area is known for grains such as corn, wheat, soybeans, and other short grains. The DFC, or subpolar climate, is the climate with the largest temperature variation of any around the world. This climate is known for a very cold winter. Large coniferous forests across Canada, Alaska, and Siberia characterize this climate. Some of the fauna that live in this area include reindeer or caribou. Caribou or reindeer are the only deer-like animals where the female also have antlers. The females retain their antlers in the wintertime. So if you see a reindeer with antlers in the wintertime, it must be female. Finally, we get to the E climates. These are the ones located at the highest latitudes. There's the polar tundra, where there are cold winters, low vegetation made up of grasses and shrubs. I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time in the tundra in the wintertime around Lake Elgegikin, which is in northeast Siberia. This climate is also common across Alaska and northern Canada. The tundra also has unique animals that call this climate home, such as these muskox. The tundra in the summertime is a spectacular place. This is tundra high in the mountains of Colorado. Hiking down among the patches of snow near this house-sized rock, it's possible to see an absolute explosion of wildflowers in this very short window of time when the area is not covered by snow. Tundra truly is a spectacular place. Finally, at the northern and southernmost areas of the planet, we see the polar desert, or the permanent ice caps. It's dry and cold with little or no vegetation. I've not had the chance to visit the southern end of the planet, but I've had a good friend who spent some time at the South Pole. The self-portrait on the right shows me standing right on the frozen Arctic Ocean. The polar desert has very little or no vegetation and very little wildlife of any kind. Here are a few prints of an Arctic fox or possibly a wolf going across this frozen landscape. So we can see here a more specific map of the Koppen climate zones around the world. If you would like to know more about the lettering system, you can hit pause and take a look at this table where we see the A, B, C, D, and E climates with the subspecialty letters to the right. That concludes this look at the Earth's climate system. Thanks for watching and have a great day.